Welcome to this executive briefing. Today, we will examine one of the most underestimated yet destructive threats within any organization: apathy. Unlike obvious challenges such as poor performance, lack of expertise, or even open conflict, apathy often develops quietly beneath the surface. It erodes engagement, weakens accountability, suppresses innovation, and gradually dismantles the culture that drives sustainable success. In this session, you will discover why organizational indifference can destroy value faster than incompetence or visible disagreements, how to recognize its early warning signs, and the leadership strategies required to restore purpose, ownership, and high performance before the damage becomes irreversible. In this opening module, we will examine the full spectrum of threats confronting modern organizations. Together, we will distinguish between malicious intent, professional incompetence, and the most dangerous force of all, the silent lethality of organizational apathy. While acts of malice are visible, and incompetence often reveals itself through operational failure, apathy advances almost unnoticed. It spreads quietly through teams, eroding accountability, diminishing initiative, and weakening the collective commitment that sustains high-performing organizations. By the end of this section, you will understand why the greatest threat to long-term organizational resilience is not always the enemy you can identify, but the indifference that leaders fail to recognize. It is critical to distinguish between the active adversary and the indifferent operator. While conflict creates visible energy, demands clear governance, and can be strategically managed, indifference represents a far more insidious risk. It remains hidden beneath the surface until a critical failure occurs and the consequences become irreversible. Leadership apathy creates a silent erosion of organizational strength. When executives disengage, meetings lose their strategic purpose, innovation begins to stagnate, and high-performing talent gradually exits, leaving the organization vulnerable, rigid, and unable to adapt to changing realities. The figures are deeply concerning. 59% of executives are now experiencing a state of silent disengagement. They perform only the minimum required to preserve their position, creating a significant drag on organizational momentum, operational velocity, and the company's ability to execute effectively. We have identified three archetypes of indifference within organizations: the armored protector, who shields themselves emotionally to avoid vulnerability and accountability; the ghost leader, who remains physically present but is mentally disengaged; and the bureaucratic shield, who hides behind processes and procedures to avoid making decisive choices. Why does apathy ultimately overpower strategy? Because it quietly dismantles the foundations of organizational performance. It erodes accountability mechanisms, fuels a toxic cultural contagion, suppresses early warning signals, and creates an environment where meaningful transformation becomes increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. Do not confuse strategic calm with leadership neutrality. True composure is a focused form of energy, an intentional state of clarity, discipline, and control. Apathy, by contrast, is an emotional absence disguised as restraint, gradually transforming teams into purely transactional environments, driven by detachment, disengagement, and cynicism. Let us now move into Part 2, Financial and Operational Diagnostics. It is time to quantify the true economic impact of managerial indifference and measure how disengaged leadership translates into measurable financial losses, operational inefficiencies, and strategic vulnerability. This threat assessment matrix demonstrates that, while conflicts are visible and can often be addressed through coaching, apathy operates beneath the surface, creating hidden damage to organizational culture and increasing the risk of a critical, potentially terminal crisis for the business. The impact on execution speed is immediate and measurable. Research indicates that teams led by apathetic leaders can operate at only a fraction of the pace achieved by teams supported by engaged and accountable leadership. This reduction in operational velocity directly affects decision-making, innovation cycles, and the organization's ability to respond to market demands. The erosion of value is real and measurable. With 50% of value loss drivers attributed to unmanaged apathy, this factor significantly exceeds capability gaps or market misalignment as a contributor to organizational decline. Leadership disengagement is therefore not merely a cultural issue. It represents a direct threat to enterprise value, operational performance, and long-term competitiveness. Observe this decline curve. Executive apathy creates a non-linear deterioration in enterprise valuation over a 5-year period. This is not a temporary performance gap. It represents a cumulative erosion of organizational capital that compounds over time and must be urgently addressed. The decline unfolds through 4 distinct stages: fatigue, silence, talent exodus, and ultimately stagnation. Each phase progressively weakens the organization, reducing its resilience and leaving it increasingly exposed to even minor market disruptions. In the final section of this video, we will explore the protocols for organizational re-engagement. Discover the Sutherland and Blackwell intervention framework designed to restore purpose, leadership energy, and performance excellence within your organization. To counter organizational apathy, we introduce a 3-pillar re-engagement protocol: radical clarity, which connects every role directly to measurable outcomes; a culture of constructive friction, which encourages healthy challenge, debate, and strategic dialogue; and decisive disengagement from persistently indifferent profiles that undermine accountability and performance. Our executive principle is simple: apathy is the silent destroyer of enterprise value. We would far rather engage with a passionate challenger than rely on an indifferent partner who contributes nothing beyond routine compliance. Constructive opposition creates movement, while indifference quietly erodes accountability, innovation, and organizational performance. By restoring a culture of high conviction and purposeful energy within your leadership rooms, you can unlock immediate acceleration, revitalize strategic workshops, faster decision-making cycles, stronger execution discipline, and improved retention of top-performing talent. In a market defined by constant disruption and intensifying competition, your greatest competitive advantage remains your organizational culture. The ultimate differentiator is a leadership team that genuinely cares about winning, one that is committed, accountable, and fully invested in creating sustainable success. The time has come to evaluate the strength of your leadership energy. Engage Sutherland and Blackwell Advisory to uncover hidden disengagement risks, diagnose organizational alignment challenges, and implement the frameworks required to rebuild commitment, accountability, and performance at the executive level.